Hi everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to the channel. I have been following this project by Anthropic for quite some time, the Model Context Protocol, and when it was launched in November last year, it sounded very promising and I thought maybe Anthropic and others would make some strides in order to get it working, in order to make it simpler to implement, but unfortunately still it is quite cumbersome to implement. But the reason why I have decided to do this video eventually, because I believe the concept behind this project are really cool, and as everyone is talking about AI agents these days, so this project is more relevant than ever. The good thing is that this is an open standard and anyone can adopt it. So in this video I'm just going to explain it in very simple words what exactly this project is, how you can also get started, and how this works. This is not a technical video per se, because I'm planning to do another video where I just want to do it in as simple way as possible, just as the spirit of the channel is. At the moment it's really hard to implement, especially when it comes to production environment. Anyway, so enough talk, let me try to explain what exactly this project is. So Model Context Protocol is an open standard that was proposed by Anthropic last year in November, and that has been supported by other companies too. What this does is it enables AI developers to build secure and complex AI agents and workflows on top of LLMs. Now you might say that there are a lot of other frameworks which allows us to do that, exactly correct. Where this differentiates from others is that instead of building a single monolithic agentic application, it divides the components into modules or modular and extensible framework, and then you can knit them together, you can reuse them, and that not only makes it easier to create the application but also to maintain it in the long run. So this MCP implements a client-server architecture where AI agents initiate clients and communicate with server. But before we go into that, let's try to see what are the components of this MCP. As I said, instead of building a one monolithic application, MCP allows you to divide your AI app or agentic app into three components: tools, resources, and prompts. Tools are functions that LLM can call to perform specific actions, such as checking stock prices or checking weather. Resources are the data sources that LLM can access, providing data without significant computation. So it could be your external database in Oracle, SQL Server, any NoSQL database, any memory store, or it could be any endpoint which is giving you data. It could be streaming data from things like AWS Kinesis or anything, and you can readily use it. And then we have prompts. Prompts are predefined templates to use tools or resources optimally, because if you remember how these AI agents work is you simply just give them a text prompt, they convert it into a function call as per your instruction. So this is where you do some sort of prompt templating within your AI agent. So this is where it is segregating all of these, and then you can use one tool with multiple agents, you can use one resource with multiple agents, you can reuse the prompts, and then so on and so forth. And that is how this MCP is enabling AI agents to interact with multiple resources through a unified protocol, and that enables independent updates, testing, extension, and reuse of tools and resources across platforms. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the state of the project is not that, I would say, active and evolving. And I believe the reason being it's too complex to implement at the moment. And instead of just uh, getting into this rigmarole of MCP, people are just opting to build their own application and they are trying to make them as extensible and modular. Let me quickly show you their documentation, just to give you a glimpse as why I am saying it is complex. So this is the documentation of Model Context Protocol. So if you look on the left hand side, there are some SDKs. So if you want to build, as I said, it's a client server stuff. So now the way it works is that we need to create our LLM client by ourselves, by the way. We also need to create our own server for MCP. So client, which is LLM client, initiates an MCP connection to MCP server. It loads existing tool resources and prompts, those three things which are provided by MCP server. Then it converts tools into LLM compatible function tools, which is a JSON schema. And then it creates a custom system message based on available MCP feature. And then it starts an interactive loop where it waits for user inputs. Sounds complicated. It is even more complicated to implement it. So first you would have to build your own MCP server. And in order to do that, you need to you need to first come up with these three things: which resources, tool, and prompt you want to implement. And then you would need to specify your LLM. This is where you are creating some dependencies, but more than that, this is where you would need to create some helper functions. Now you would need to not only do that, you would need to do the tool execution within that. A lot of code is involved, which is seems to me pretty rigid code, which is not really cool. So the point here is that instead of building your own application, you start getting into building this MCP server. And this is not the end here. You would also have to build and manage your client. Again, a lot of code here. So where you are segregating, yes, I understand that you segregating your processing, you're managing your configuration different one, but I believe that there are easier way of implementing these stuff. But still, if you are brave enough and if you want to really build a modular extensible application based on agentic software, go for it and see how it goes. But in my opinion, I think this still has a long way to go in order to really make it a tool which could be used to build powerful agentic applications. Just because it's an Anthropic product, look, I mean, we have to be fair. I mean, I don't really want to go with the crowd and just say it's cool because it's from Anthropic. Anyway, so that is just my thought. I might be totally wrong. I will be happy if you could just negate it and then come up with counter arguments in the comments. Happy to talk about it. So that's it. Before I go, let me also introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are AgentBot, that lets you effortlessly deploy a personalized knowledge bot across platforms like Discord, Slack, and others. It is ideal for open source tech communities and startups that provide user support, and I will drop the link to their website in video's description. Let me know what do you think about them. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network, as it helps a lot. Thank you for all the support and watching, of course.